Welcome to the Compass TV show. It's just a wonderful day to be in studio. We have some very special guests with us, and it's always a fun journey. It's like we get to travel around the world without leaving Marshall today, so we'll go see where the journey takes us. But with that, I'd like to welcome both my guests, and let's get started. If they would each take a turn, share their name and their home, town, and country.
My name is Tsukasa, and I'm from Japan. My city is approximately 400,000 people.
400,000, wow, okay. Is that considered large or small back home?
It's kind of small city, but it's way bigger than Marshall.
Yeah.
But it's kind of similar to Marshall because everything close, so people relationships so close.
Oh, okay.
That's why I love Marshall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a good fit. Okay. And?
My name is Rope. I'm from Finland.
Finland? Okay.
And my mom and dad are divorced. My mom lives out of the city, so like 14,000 people, so kind of like Marshall.
Okay.
And my dad lives in the capital, Helsinki, and that's like 500,000.
Half a million. Wow, you get quite the variation.
Yeah, but they're close to each other.
But they're close.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's talk about your hometowns and your home country. Where you live. Get snow? Do you live by the mountains? What's your hometown like?
Our city is occupied with 80% of mountain, but there it's famous for skiing, but it's up north. I live in the north, but it's kind of Marshall. You know, there are so many mountains, but we have the drastic difference of temperature or climate.
Okay.
You know, in summer, it's gonna be 103 degrees.
Okay.
But in winter, it's gonna be 6 degrees.
Oh wow! So you get the dramatic climate change then too.
Also, it's humid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you live in a mountainous area then.
Yes.
Okay. And northern Japan? Do I understand correctly?
I live in central Japan.
Central Japan.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
I live in the southern part, and we get snow, but we don't get that cold, like 20 degrees in the winter. And then in the summer, if it goes well, it's like 80s maybe.
80s, okay.
But around there, and then not really mountains, but we have a lot more like trees and woods than in Marshall, I would compare. So you see a lot more trees, and then one thing, kind of like that.
Okay, wonderful. So it sounds like you come from similar but very different hometowns from where you are right now. What was your first impression when you were leaving Minneapolis, St. Paul, coming out to Marshall, and you were driving and driving?
There are so many, beans and corns, soil, and then, huge cone plants and that was amazing because it's completely different from Japan.
Yeah.
So
a whole different scenery for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for me when I came here, the one thing I remember is the roads are just straight. Like in Finland, you go by like curves, but here it just goes straight for like an hour in the same road. And I've never had that, so it was very like. And then when we reached like Minneapolis, it started to get like really stale, just like because they like corn and a lot of fields. Yeah, that was kind of different from Finland.
That's interesting to hear you talk about that. I've had friends go to your country and they talked about the curvy roads, how the roads just wound and curve all over. Now you're mentioning on the flip side how straight they are out here. We're going, just normal for us. So that's very interesting observation. Let's go back to your home countries. So what do you do on a typical day? What's a typical school day like for you?
I go to boys Catholic high school.
Okay.
But there is in the neighboring state, so I take a long time to go to school every single day, and I use one train and 2 subway. It takes a long time. Takes about 1 or 1.5 hours to go. So but it's good time to sleep or do homework. Yeah.
Get caught up, right?
Yes.
What's the typical school day like back home?
It's completely different from the United States, because we cannot choose any classes.
Okay.
And also we have own classroom and own classroom teacher.
So you have the same classroom and the same teacher as you go
Yes.
through high school?
Yes.
Okay.
For us, the day 1 hour or like a lesson is only 75 minutes, as like 90 minutes in Marshall, and you get to choose your subjects.
Okay.
But then in Marshall you have 4, and every single one you have the same kind of schedule. But in Finland, the starting times differ sometimes, and
Okay.
lessons are usually in different order, so
Okay.
you don't like have to repetitive.
You don't have the same classes every day. It can be
They can be like
different schedule.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So quite some changes for you when you started school in Marshall.
Yes.
Let's talk about that first day at school in Marshall. What are some of your first impressions? Going to school in Marshall, what are the things that were different? What are the things that you're going, really?
I thought school is way bigger than in Japan.
Oh, okay.
So I lost for the first time. So I asked teacher which class is my class.
Yeah.
Every single classes. That was pretty embarrassing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel it's so huge school.
Wow, it's a huge school. That's interesting.
For me, the first day, I was kind of not lost, but I didn't know where to go really. And then at lunch, I kind of didn't know where to go for lunch to eat too. So I just kind of sat by myself the first day, which was kind of not very good.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it went pretty well. And it's kind of the same thing as in Finland, the teachers and
Okay.
you change the classrooms. So
Well, let's talk about the lunchroom. What kind of experience was that for you guys? You said you were just looking for the lunchroom, but what was the lunchroom experience like for you guys the first time? Was that really different? Back home, do you go home for lunch?
In Japan, we bring the lunch box every day, lunchtime. So it's kind of fun experience for me to go to the cafeteria and eat with friends. And then, and also every single foods are so huge. It's typical American.
Yep.
Large
portions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say that it's kind of different because in Finland, you get to eat as much as you want at lunch, and it's free, which is very different from here when you have to, you not worry about the lunch money, but kind of keep an eye on it.
Right.
And so that's different. And then one thing that I was kind of angry about is that you don't get water, you just get milk,
Sure.
and that's it. So
Interesting.
that's kind of annoying because I don't drink milk.
Right.
So it's kind of
Very
different
used
for
to
me.
water. Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Wow, that's really cool. So that's it. That's a little bit about school and how that works in the home country and here. Let's talk about when you're not in school, what do you do back home for fun?
I love to watch the Major League Baseball.
Okay.
So, and then there are so many Japanese players in Major League Baseball. So I always watch the baseball game.
You like watching baseball?
Yeah, in my leisure time.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play soccer in Finland, so that kind of takes some time off my daily schedule. But then I like to play video games sometimes. And then I like to watch sports, like a lot of sports. It doesn't matter what it is.
As long as it's sports.
As long as it's sports.
Yeah. So what do you do in Marshall, Minnesota for fun? In your spare time?
In spare time?
Yeah, not school.
Well, I joined the cross country and I'll be in track. So now I'm running.
Sure.
Yeah, in leisure time. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that'll keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing hockey for the winter, but I like to go to the movies.
Okay.
So that's kind of something I've been doing quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. That's fun to hear those differences and to see where that all goes. What grades are you guys in school?
We are in junior.
Junior year? So how does that go now? You're here for your junior year. When you go back home, how much more schooling do each of you have? And then do you go on to what we would call college afterwards? So how does that look back home?
I will be senior in April in Japan.
Okay.
So when I go back to Japan, I'm in senior grade, and then also I'm gonna spend half of senior year, and I'm gonna graduate it. But in Japan, we have entrance exam in college, so hopefully I'm gonna be a college student next
Okay.
April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're preparing for that exam, right?
Yes.
For me, this year is kind of like a bye year, so I just don't get anything from it.
Okay.
So I'll just go back where I left off, pretty much.
So you'll go back to as a junior back home.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
Kind of, yeah.
like maybe sophomore is a better
Yeah.
phrase, but I start where I left off,
Okay.
and then I have 2 more years
Okay.
of school, and then maybe college
Okay.
or somewhere in college.
Do you guys have exams
Yeah.
in there
To
too
get to
get into
college.
college?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any thoughts of what you're going to do after high school? Fields of study?
I would like to study the relationship between Japan and other country, how to build a friendship. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have no idea. That I kind of should be thinking about something, but I can't.
Not on your radar yet, right? That's all right. That's quite all right. Let's talk about your families. Do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? You kind of casually mentioned your parents. Where are your parents at? What they do for a living?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have mother and father, and then I'm only child.
Okay. What do your mom and dad do?
My mom is housewife, and then my dad is working at airline.
Airline, okay.
Yep.
My parents work at a corn farm, live in a
Okay.
farm.
Okay.
And they farm, they have pigs.
Okay.
And then I have 2 brothers who live home, and then 2 brothers who are in college.
Okay.
And Mark is the youngest one, he's the same age as me,
Okay.
so that's pretty nice.
Okay. Same age as you?
Yep.
Are you a twin?
No,
Okay.
it's,
Just the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I was hearing that correctly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about American food. We kind of touched on it real lightly here, but what's your favorite food and why? If you can answer why.
I love pancakes and bacons. You know, it's typical American food.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever, breakfast or a dinner or something. Yeah, I love that.
You love that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything close to that back home?
Um,
Just curious.
yeah, we have American pancake in Japan, so
Okay.
it's kind of popular
Okay.
in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very similar.
Yeah,
Well,
very similar.
Similar as in fact is how similar they can be in a different country. Yeah.
Yeah.
for me, I like good steak, that's
Okay.
pretty much it, and then good steak and fries. That's it.
Good steak and fries. Okay. Are there foods you've tried in America and you're thinking, what are these Americans thinking? Some foods that you say, I'll be glad to go back home. I don't want to eat that anymore. It's always an interesting question for me to ask because I find that there's usually a food that you say, not quite for me, and that's okay.
It was so surprising, but dessert pizza,
Okay.
it was so surprising for me because, you know, it doesn't make sense about that.
I understand what you're saying. And pizza is pizza, so
Yeah.
why are you making it into a dessert? What's
Yeah.
going on here, right? This doesn't make any sense
Exactly.
to me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have cheese on it. You're supposed to have, yeah.
When I go home, I'll probably have like 10,000 different foods that I just can't think of any right now.
Okay, yeah, no problem. What's the one food from back home that you miss, that you can't get here, that you just say, oh, I wish I could have just a bite of that?
I really miss the miso soup.
Miso soup.
Do you know what miso soup is?
I do. Okay. And I'm sure the miso soups that you can get around here are not
Yeah.
miso soups like miso soups.
Yeah, miso soup is represent Japanese food, so I miss that. Yeah.
Can you explain that to the audience? I mean, I know what it is. Can you give them a descriptor of what miso soup is?
Miso is it makes the mashed rice and then mash the soybeans and then mix up the rice malt or barley and then mix up the soup.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Yeah. So it's that combination that just makes the flavor
Yes.
so good. Yeah. Good. And
A pea soup.
Pea soup.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then put some ham in there. That's what I miss.
Oh, okay. Pea soup with ham. Wow. Hadn't thought of that one. That sounds wonderful.
It is finished, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good, huh?
Nice.
Is there any activities from back home when you go back home? What's the first thing you're going to do?
In back home,
Yep.
I was in track team, and also in Japan we don't have any seasonal sports. So I like the American system, you know, the seasonal sports.
sure.
And then also we should, once you join the one sport, you're gonna try the whole school year. So I was in only track. And then,
Okay.
yeah, now I'm continuing to running.
Okay. Good.
When I go home, I'm just gonna get my boot and go to the soccer pitch because I haven't been at soccer pitch for a year.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna do. And then this is where it gets interesting. Is I don't really like the fact that there is seasonal sports.
Okay. Okay.
I mean-
So he likes the seasonal sports, and you prefer
I prefer like all the time.
not the seasonal sports. Very interesting. So you have played soccer back home
Yeah,
year
soccer.
round, right?
But here I didn't play.
Yeah. You guys watch the Olympics?
I did.
Yeah, I did too.
Do you have a favorite sport that you guys watched?
I like to watch figure skating, and also Japanese guy gets the gold medal. Yeah, that's why I like it.
That's why you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched ice hockey. That
Ice
was
hockey?
the most interesting one.
That was the most interesting one for you. Great. Well, we're talking here today with some students who come from another part of our amazing world, and they made a decision probably close to a year ago or several months ago now that they wanted to come to the U.S. or at least be an exchange student. So my question to them is why should any individual here sitting in Marshall, would they even consider being an exchange student? Why did you do it? What have you learned from being an exchange student?
I would like to encourage all of high school students to challenge studying in the United States because I actually had a great experience that I could make friends regardless of the difference of language and culture. Also, I think all of exchange students were confronted with hardships or difficulties caused by the difference of culture. And then host family and friends are always supported me.
Yeah.
However, finally, I should find a solution and then I should make a decision to resolve the problem. So these experiences are indispensable for our life. That's why I encourage all of them.
It sounds like you grew up in a very short amount of time,
Yeah.
became an adult and realized that,
So 1-year exchange program is so nice span
Yeah.
for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. And
There's so much independency
Yeah.
that comes with the whole exchange student experience that even if you don't know the language as well, like you learn by just listening, being there, and I would say independency is the most important part because there is some things that you will find are hard, then you have to find the solution yourself. Like when you cannot count on your own parents, but you have to overcome the challenge and be yourself.
I love that. I love what you both have shared, that it's really taught you independence and that you have to figure it out for yourselves and that you can't always have your parents there to solve it for you. That's a life lesson that I don't know if everybody learns. So that's an amazing life lesson that you have learned in a short amount of time. So who are the families that you are with here in Marshall?
I'm staying with Brian and Michelle Boersma's house. They're
Okay.
so great and affectionate family.
Okay.
And then they have 4 children.
Okay.
And then the oldest brother, Josh, he's now working in Iowa.
Okay.
And then 2 sisters, Steph and Claire, is in college.
Okay.
And Claire's runner too. So
Oh.
I sometimes go to watch her
run.
run. So it's kind of fun part. And then the youngest brother, Tim, he's so good. And he's junior too. So he and I always go to school. And then we were singing in the
Okay.
car during the go to school. So
Oh, fun.
it's so fun every day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And your family?
I misunderstood that question before. No, I understand. But where I live here
Yep.
is Brian and Teresa Kirkhart. We live
Okay.
just outside of town, and that's where my brother Mark is here too.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And yeah, I live with them, and it's good to have a same age brother, like host brother like Mark is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he helps quite a lot with some things.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure that's made it easier in school when you have a sibling that's in the household
Yes.
and goes to the same school as you. So is there anything you would like to tell your host families while we're on TV? Do you want to say a thank you to them? Do you want to recall a funny situation? Anything you'd like to say to them? Either one
Well,
of you.
for me, I love going to Brian's mom and dad because they have so many great stories about their family. Like it just makes me feel like part of the family when I know stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's what I love, and I'm so happy that I ended up with them because the way every single one of them has like taken me as their, I would say, as brother or a child. It means a lot to me.
Cool. And I really like that too, because then again you're sharing how they have purposely opened up their hearts while you were opening up your heart to learn of one another so you can then bond.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
I love to go to the long trip with them, and then I went to my host mom's mom and dad's, so grandma and grandpa's house, and Christmas, and it was so fun experience to make a relationship more deeply,
Yeah.
and then tell lots of interesting stories. So it's kind of fun.
Wow. Sounds like you guys have had an amazing year with hearing stories, sharing stories, and really developing that close relationship. That is really awesome. Have either of you dreamt in English? Do you dream in English or not? Or just
Not yet.
curious. Not yet.
It
Okay.
depends a lot. Like
Okay.
when I'm tired, I dream in English, but when I'm not, I dream in Finnish.
Okay.
cool.
It's
Okay.
like, yeah, it depends quite a bit.
Okay, okay. Oh, I think that's an interesting question. When you're not quite there yet, you guys go back end of June, do I get it
Yep.
right?
Yes.
When you're getting ready to head back, what do you think is going to be the hardest thing to go back?
I think
Is there something that's going to make you go, ugh?
hardest thing to go back.
Yep,
I think I'm gonna definitely miss my family and friends
okay.
in here.
Here,
Yeah.
yep. The new friendships and bonds you've created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, and then going back to school in Finland is kind of
Yeah.
scary me because I have taken a year off school.
Yeah.
Kind of. I had to go
Yeah.
back and start it again.
Go back and restart. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's end our segment here now. Let's go ahead and say good night or goodbye in our native language. So whichever one would like to go first.
You go
We're
first.
going to do a fist bump, right? No.
No, you go first.
All right.
Goodbye.
Sayonara.
I don't know how to say that. Hyvää illan jatkoa.
Okay.
That works.
So with that, good night and goodbye, and we'll be on next time.